We're always told that to change our lives, we need some kind of dramatic, massive overhaul. But what if real, lasting change isn't loud at all? What if it's quiet? Today, we're going to dive into 7 simple habits that don't promise a new you overnight, but they do promise something way more profound: changing how your life actually feels. Does this sound familiar? That little nagging feeling that next year might just be a copy-paste of this one? Same old stress, same ruts, same promises to yourself that just kind of fizzle out. It's a super common feeling, right? Like you're stuck on a treadmill, going through the motions. So what gives? Are we just lazy? Do we not have enough willpower? Well, turns out it's probably neither of those things. The real problem is our method. We try to make these huge, heroic changes that are just impossible to keep up. We go all in, we burn out, and then we land right back where we started. Okay, but there is another way. Instead of that massive all-or-nothing transformation, what if we just focused on small, consistent things? We're going to walk through 7 simple habits that can make your days feel less heavy, less chaotic, and way more intentional. All right, first up is a really foundational one. This is all about setting the tone right from the moment you wake up. Habit number 1 is simply stop rushing. And look, this doesn't mean you have to wake up at 4 a.m. for some crazy productivity routine. It's way simpler. It's just about taking the urgency out of it. Before you grab your phone and let the entire world rush in, just take a few minutes. Let your brain settle. Let yourself arrive in the day, instead of getting shot out of a cannon into it. And here's why this is so important. When you start your morning rushed, you're setting yourself up for a reactive day. You spend the rest of it just putting out fires, answering other people's demands, and constantly feeling like you're one step behind. You're reacting, not acting. Okay, let's get into our next 2 habits. And these 2 are a team effort, really. They're all about fighting back against this constant culture of distraction that we all live in. They're designed to help you retrain your brain to do one thing and do it well. So habit 2 sounds super simple, but it is deceptively powerful. Do one thing fully. This is the art of single tasking. Just pick one thing, anything, and give it all of your attention. No TV on in the background, no checking your phone every 2 minutes, no flipping between 10 different browser tabs.
I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the reality of multitasking. It's chaotic, it's distracting, and the work is usually pretty sloppy. On the other side, you have the calm power of singular focus. When you do one thing properly, you're not just getting it done better, you're literally retraining your brain to value focus again.
And that leads us perfectly into habit 3. Just think for a second about how much mental energy you burn just arguing with yourself. Should I go to the gym? I don't know. Should I start that project now? Maybe later. That inner debate is absolutely exhausting. This quote totally reframes what we think of as disciplined. See, we think it's about this intense, grinding, white-knuckled force of will, but it's not. It's about making a decision one time and then just dropping the argument. If it's important to you, you just do it. You remove the conversation. All right, moving on. Our next couple of habits are all about protecting your most precious resource, your energy. Because let's be real, you can't build a better life if you're constantly running on fumes. This is the foundation for everything else. So many of us get this completely backward. We wait until we're totally burnt out, and then we try to fix everything in our lives. But rest is not a reward, and it's definitely not laziness. It's essential maintenance. A clear, well-rested mind is going to make way better decisions than a tired, fried one. And a huge piece of protecting your energy is about managing what you let into your head. Which brings us to habit 5. Just consume less. And we're not talking about physical stuff here. We're talking about mental minimalism. I mean, think about it. We are just drowning in a constant flood of content, other people's opinions, and just noise. But here's the kicker. Your brain probably doesn't need more information to solve its problems. It just needs some quiet space to process the information it already has. All right, we're on the home stretch. And these last 2 habits, man, they're the real engines for growth. They're all about building self-awareness and, maybe most importantly, self-trust. Habit 6 sounds so simple, but it's a total game changer. Take a moment to reflect each day. And no, this doesn't mean you need to spend an hour writing in a journal every night. It's much, much simpler than that. It all boils down to this one simple, powerful question. At the end of your day, just take 30 seconds and ask yourself, what worked today and what didn't? That simple little feedback loop creates awareness. And that kind of awareness builds on itself way faster than just waiting around for motivation to show up. And that brings us to our final habit. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. Keep the promises you make to yourself. And the key is to start ridiculously small, with things you know you can actually do. This chart really says it all. We think confidence comes from these huge, epic wins that happen once in a blue moon. But real, solid confidence, it's built brick by tiny brick, every single day. Each small promise you keep is like making a deposit in your own self-trust account. So when you step back and look at all 7 of these habits, you start to see a pattern, right? Real, sustainable change doesn't come from trying to blow up your entire life. It comes from quietly and consistently changing your days. So, let's recap. This isn't just a random to-do list, it's a system. You start your day calm, you do one thing fully, you stop wasting energy debating with yourself, you protect your mind from overload, you learn from what you did, and you build trust in yourself. See how they all connect? And honestly, that's the whole point right there. The goal isn't some dramatic, overnight transformation. It's about shifting the feeling of your daily life, from reactive and chaotic to intentional and calm. Because at the end of the day, your life is just a collection of your days. And when you change how you experience them, you quietly, but inevitably, change your life. So I want to leave you with a final thought. Instead of asking that big, scary question, how do I change my entire life? Maybe a better question is this. By trying just one of these quiet habits, what's one tiny part of your day that could start to feel just a little bit lighter?